Chapter 18 of The Grapes of Wrath, the Joad and Wilson families continue westward through the mountains of New Mexico and the dry, rocky country of Arizona. They arrive in California and camp near a river to bathe. As they enjoy the cool river water, two men emerge from the foliage to join them. According to these men, there's no land left in California to claim, and the residents are hostile to the migrants, referring to the migrants in a derogatory way as Okies. The Joads and Casey are unfamiliar with this term. Tom and Noah rest in the willows, and Noah unexpectedly tells his brother he's staying by the river and not continuing on the journey. Tom tries hard to talk him out of it, but Noah's mind is set, and he leaves. Back in a tent, Ma and Rose of Sharon sit by Grandma, who is sick and delirious. Ma comforts a nervous Rose of Sharon by saying she'll learn to share her hurt with others, and then it won't seem so bad. When a Jehovite woman realizes that Grandma is near death, she and other Jehovites hold a prayer meeting in a nearby tent. Their cacophonous noise only makes Rose of Sharon more nervous. Ma and Rose of Sharon try to sleep, but are disturbed by a policeman who tells them that they have to leave by tomorrow. Ma gets angry and, holding a skillet, approaches the policeman, who backs off but repeats that they have to leave, calling them Okies. Tom tells a stunned Ma that Noah has left. The Joads decide to pack up and leave immediately, but Ivy Wilson says that he and Sari aren't going because his wife is seriously ill. Casey visits Sari in her tent and says a silent prayer for her. The Joads leave the Wilsons some money and then depart. Tom begins to drive across the desert as the sun begins to set, with Al and Pa seated next to him. The others lie in the back, with Ma lying next to Grandma. Rose of Sharon and Connie are anxious to sleep together, and Uncle John talks to Casey about sin. The Joads stop at an inspection station. Ma tells the official that her mother is very sick and asks if they can go on without an inspection. The Joads swear they don't have any vegetables or seeds, so the reluctant official lets them go. After they cross the desert, they enter beautiful land with golden grain fields and dark green patches of oranges. Ma confesses to the family that Grandma died during the trip, but they had to keep going. Tom is amazed at Ma's strength, sitting next to her dead mother all night, and decides to go to the coroner to get Grandma buried decently. This chapter turns the screws on the strains of migrant life that can tear at the fabric of a family. Several people leave the family circle. Noah decides to stay by the river. The Wilsons stay behind because of Sari's illness, and Grandma dies during the crossing of the desert. But also, anger toward authority figures simmers in Tom, who develops leadership skills in subtle ways.